Hey there, my name is Pravus and welcome to more Terra Invicta. We are, of course, still playing as the Resistance, controlling the United States as well as Kazakhstan. We have a foothold in the European Union, which I would love to grow if we see the Academy losing their attention over here. We'll keep an eye on that. And we are also building out our control here in Canada, with the expectation that this is going to make for a pretty good place to construct lots of mission control buildings before eventually, like many years from now, it gets annexed into a new American state. So that's what I'm going for over there. Now, we do still have a few extra control points to work with. They'll probably get taken up with Canada, but we have some options as far as other growth areas. I would love to go to places like India or China for lots of raw economy, but they're a little bit too expensive at the moment. One thing we could consider doing, if I can't get into the European Union, is take over Saudi Arabia. And the reason for that, I was talking to a member of the Discord about this, and he said it's actually pretty darn powerful. If you go into the tech tree, we can see with the unity movements, we can create a nation called the Caliphate. You release it from Saudi Arabia, and then it gets claims on, like, the entire Arabian area around it. And you can use the military power of the United States to basically conquer all of this area and turn it into one giant super state, a petrostate with lots and lots of oil, then exploit it for a ridiculous amount of cash. That could be a pretty good option. I think it even gets an upgrade once we get the next big social movement technology, but we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not quite willing to give up hope in the European Union, and if I can take control of that, I can integrate the Northern Balkan states and Slovakia pretty easily, and I'll happily use the American army to start conquering a lot of different nations throughout Europe and integrate them into the European Union. That's what I'd like to do, but you know, it all comes down to the AI. We'll see what happens. Another thing we need to do is keep an eye out for an alien life form. Oh, and our probe just arrived on Mars. That's fantastic. The reason we need to find an alien life form is we're supposed to kill one. That's like one of our mission objectives, right? So, yeah, let's keep an eye out for them. If we can surveil the areas wherever there's alien activity, we might get lucky and discover one. So our probe just arrived on Mars, and now we know what kind of resources exist here. So let's remember the initiative already grabbed a site, and this one makes a lot of sense. It's kind of well-rounded in a lot of different resources. Okay. What do I want? Well, the answer is a lot of water and volatiles, and a pretty good amount of metals would be nice. I see a very good noble metals site, 14.4. Could make sense. Nothing here is outstanding in terms of fissile materials. There's only one here that's okay. We actually have a better site on the moon, so that's going to be interesting. Well, I definitely want to grab the noble metal site. This is also pretty darn good. Some fissiles, some nobles, a little bit of base metals, pretty great amount of water and volatiles. This one's even better for that, though. That's a load of volatiles. Holy crud, I want this. Yeah, we're going to grab at least those two sites. These two for now. I might even grab a third at some point, but let's start with two. I'm going to come down over here. I'm going to go ahead and found an outpost. It's only going to take me 5.1 of my boost in order to launch this, which is really not all that bad. So let's go ahead and launch EU, and then let's go to the Noble Metal site, the Olympus Mons, and we're going to do one there as well. How long is it going to take to arrive? 321 days. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but not unexpected. We're going to have to wait until anything gets here to Mars to really get to do anything fun, build construction modules and so on, and really speed this up. There's quite a delay. Setting up the first bases on a new planet is definitely the hardest part. Once you get that going, it's not going to be so bad. So 320 days, huh? All right, so let's think about that. We launch this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the outpost. We could preemptively launch things I know I'm going to need. For example, the outpost mining complex. 350 days is what it's going to take for this to arrive. So there's really no reason that I can think of not to just go ahead and launch this right now, because by the time that the hub arrives, it'll be about 1 more month, and then this thing will be ready to go, and I'd like to start exploiting resources immediately. Only it's going to take me 0.6 boost. That is completely fine. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, solar collectors, you'll notice, only provide 3 power instead of the 10 they would provide on Earth. So this is not a very good source of power, and we need a fair bit more for these things. This is where having the fission pile is nice. This still produces 10 power. It does take up some of that fissile materials, though. So that's, you know, to be expected, but there we go. We'll launch that. That arrives about the exact same time that the hub does. That's probably fine, though. And then, yeah, we should probably go ahead and do the same thing on my other base. I don't really see any reason to wait. I want to get construction modules, but we could be mining while we wait for that to get launched anyway. So let's go ahead and launch the same thing over here. Fission pile, mine, go. Something I'm going to do with Mika is, now that she's getting better at investigation and espionage, I'm going to use her to start investigating enemies. wherever possible, because something we can do is hostile takeovers. We can start stealing other factions' organizations, which could be pretty awesome. Also, we'll be able to eventually start stealing some project technology if they've already completed some. So I'm going to start using her to be a bit more aggressive. We're going to take stats away from our enemies, especially if I can find an organization with administration on it, because that just lets us scale up really fast. What I'll want to do at some point, probably using Mika or maybe Preesh instead, depending on what stat you need, is we could consider assassinating enemy counselors. Now that's going to really peeve them off, like understandably, but you can imagine after investing so much time and resources into a counselor to have them die is a huge blow for an AI. So that's something I'm going to consider. So case in point, now that we've discovered this person who works for the initiative, if we want to do a hostile takeover, there's a 69% chance of success, which is pretty nice. Could spend some money to boost that chance up, but I think I'm good with just 69%. Let's see what kind of organizations they have and if there's anything I really want to steal. Okay, so now we get a look at all the different organizations, and there are a few. The extra investigation here from the Vulcan Intelligence Group I could see being pretty nice. Nothing with any administration, unfortunately, which would be free real estate for me. I mean, yeah, I like the 2 persuasion for the extra admin cap. I like the 2 investigation just to make her better at her job. So I think if we're going to steal anything from Hoffa, it's probably going to go ahead and be the Vulcan Intelligence Group. Let's snag that one. And that's the power of a hostile takeover. You need to have a really high admin skill to pull it off, but if you can, it's really good. What I could do is just literally use Mika to go and investigate every person we can, and then maybe Devanshi, I don't know if she has the mission or not, to just go ahead and do lots and lots of hostile takeovers, and it would work. You know, one thing we could do that would boost up our ability to find an alien would be to go back to Earth and actually do some satellite action, because the Xenology Lab actually is going to be able to give us some detection rating, which I do like. So maybe we found a new platform. Does cost me some boost, but it's not too bad. We have a little tiny bit of mission control to spare. We'll do it in low Earth orbit 2 because there's space debris in low Earth orbit 1, and I'd really rather avoid that if at all possible. So we'll go ahead and launch there, and that's going to be our new platform. And if we take a look here, good lord, zoom in faster. Hello? There we are. Okay. We are going to place Xenology Labs. So, yes, it gives me a 10% booster research and stuff, which is good for some of my missions, for sure. But you can also see grants a +1 bonus to alien detection if the module is in Earth orbit, up to a maximum of 9. That's why I kind of want to have some of these. So let's build them in space. What is their upkeep? It's pretty minor, but to be fair, I also don't have a whole lot of volatiles to spare. So this is kind of pushing it just a little bit. Oh, here's something unexpected. Okay. The Academy is actually trying to take over China. That's interesting. If they grab another one of these points, they're going to be probably over their cap. The more they try to take that's outside of places they control, and they have a lot of points right now in Germany, France, and Italy, they might become vulnerable. The more stretched out you are beyond your governing capacity here, I keep saying that, it's really control cap, the easier it is for an enemy to take your last spot. So there is a strong possibility that if they keep overextending like this, we're going to be able to go in here, do a crackdown, and start snagging EU. Guys, it might actually still happen. Oh, yeah, see? Okay, so right now, the EU would be a 21% chance without spending any influence to do this because they are so far over their cap. If I'm willing to spend a bunch of influence, we can definitely knock off a chunk of the EU. Yeah, I have a hard time believing we shouldn't do this. Whoa, we have our first direct sighting of an alien. Where is it? Where is the alien? We need to kill it. It is in the European Union in Prague. So we definitely need to spy on this, and we definitely need to assassinate it. We need to find out what kind of stats it has. These things are capable of having organizations as well, by the way. So we could do hostile takeovers here if it helps weaken them down. But that's a genuine alien, and it is going to start running around and doing missions. It can only move one country at a time. As long as it stays away from servant-controlled territory, we should be able to kill it or at least complete missions. If it ever goes into servant territory, it gets a lot of defense. So what have we discovered about our alien buddy? Well, first off, he's got some pretty solid stats. The 15 security is the one that we have to overcome, I believe, to get him killed. Does have a few organizations, including some with security, so taking that away helps a little bit. And not much else here that looks very impactful. Yeah, the ops incoming stuff is annoying, but we kill this, it goes away anyway. So yeah, I think what we need to do is a hostile takeover to take the Parima Protection Organization away. And that makes us as easy to kill as it gets, which is to say, still not very easy, like, at all. As much as I want to continue cracking down in the European Union, we have to keep spying on the alien. You might say, well, wait, you already spied on it. Why do you need to do it again? Because the more you spy on it, the more of a stacking bonus you will get when you do an assassination mission, up to 5, I think, which just increases my success chance by a pretty good amount. I'm willing to spend a little ops to kind of guarantee I move fast on this, so let's continue working on that. We're just going to spy, spy, spy. Arrival international relations is done. Okay, so we could move on to things like the unity movements, which is how we would create the caliphate, and I was considering doing that. Now I don't know that I need to, at least for a bit, because it looks like there's a chance we're going to grab the European Union. So what else do we need in the tech tree? Let's take a quick look-see. So we're already working on the industrialization of space. Very soon going to be done with that. Another thing that I'm going to need in space is tier 2 satellites, and that means we need to get the orbitals tech. For that, I need Ad Astra. So I think that's my next priority, and then when that's done, yeah, we go for the orbitals. When are we going to be done with cybernetics? That's going to be done fairly soon. Once we're done with orbitals, I'm not sure what else is going to be a top priority. I guess maybe moving toward mission for the inner planets. I would like to be able to get to Mercury. I could see that being a very, very good thing, and I'll explain more about why later. Industrialization of space is done as well. Okay. So the next thing we're now waiting for is the construction module research project, the faction project, to become available, which might take a little while. I'm not too sure. It's kind of luck-based when they appear. It just now has a chance of coming up for free. So what do we want next? We said mission to the inner planets is a good option. Yeah, I think we're gonna start just at least get the basic tech we need for the mission to the inner planet. So let's do advanced heat management, and when we can get to Mercury, if we're willing to spend 15,000 science, that'll end up being pretty good. And we finished with the cybernetic implants project. Excellent. All right, so this is where I get to start doing a lot of fun stuff. So now that we have access to cybernetics, I can go to my people here, and under augmentation, we can spend 500 cash, which is very expensive, by the way, to buy a bunch of different upgrades. The loyalty monitor is okay. I mean, it reduces their loyalty because apparently people don't like it when you know, literally implant something to check their emotions and their loyalty state. But you get to see what their loyalty is, so you know what you're working with. Everything else is great. Extra command, that's more cap for me, right? Monthly income in science, who doesn't love that? More security and espionage, could be good. Investigation, great. Administration means more organizations, right? And then there, of course, is even more espionage. So all of these are good, and 2 of them get me extra governing cap, and I can place all of them on every one of my counselors. This is where I need to have a lot of money, but if you've got it, it's really pretty solid. The construction module project is available. Beautiful. Okay, I was afraid we were going to have to wait a long time for that. That said, I do need to finish up some tech fast, so what I'm probably going to do is just rush down the devolved space command, and as long as we stay ahead of time on everyone else, we can continue to decide what the next techs are going to be. But yeah, we got to get this done fast. Forget the augmented learning for a little bit. August, still longer than I would like, but okay. Let's get that construction module going. It really is going to make such a huge difference. We're also just about... Oh, another alien. Wait, there's a second one in Poland, or is it the same one? Uh-oh. We did just successfully take another point in the European Union. Yes, that puts me over my cap, but honestly, I consider this to be completely acceptable. Oh, I didn't actually expect this to work. Only a 30% chance, but we did kill the alien. It is very dead. Beautiful. All right, so that is an important mission completed for us. Few amongst us, not amongst, oh man, a typo, that's just unforgivable, would have ever believed this day would come. We have managed to kill an alien. Let's see, we were well equipped to quickly transfer the corpse to cryogenic storage because it was already starting to succumb to necrosis. All right, full post-mortem. We completed the acquire an alien corpus objective. Corpus instead of corpse? Oh god, another typo? You gotta be kidding me. Anyway, we've managed to acquire this, blah, blah, blah. Looks like it actually revived from death and attacked. Wow, that's kind of scary. They had to shoot it some more until it eventually finally was truly dead. Yep, so killing it once apparently ain't good enough. Gotta kill it more than once. They are called Hydras because they appear to be able to regenerate from their injuries. The new objective is to research Hydra biology. Find out what makes them tick, dissect them, like a Frau in school. Oh, and there's another alien in Sedan. I don't want to have to keep killing these dang things. They're really hard to kill, to be honest. Part of the reason I have to be careful about this, though, is because there is this thing over here in the top right called an estimated alien threat level. We are guessing how scared the aliens are of us, or at least how annoyed they are. If it ever gets to the point where they're up to a 5-star threat rating, they are going to send an attack force to come and destroy all of our stuff. So we have to be very careful. Every time we kill an alien, that level goes up. If you spend enough of your mission control, that level goes up, right? So killing another alien's fine. Killing a lot more aliens, not good yet. Not until we're ready to ward them off. There are a lot of wars going on, by the way. I'm getting calls in from people all the time, and it looks like it's always the servants. Whether that be Japan or the UK or Russia, they're all over the place, and they're just shooting a lot of folks. I think they're actively declaring war on the Humanity First faction. Pretty sure that's what's going on, because, yeah, they were fighting over places like Laos and Vietnam and stuff earlier, and Malaysia. No, I don't think they were going for Malaysia, but you get the idea. So, yeah, we gotta be very afraid of the servants and what they're doing here. If it were possible to coup them out of Russia, I would love to do that. If you can find any of their advisors and steal their organizations or assassinate them, that would also be great. But we'll see. I've cracked down the executive branch of the European Union. Will this put me over my cap even further? Absolutely it will, but I can surrender Syria and maybe even Hungary if I want to do that. The most important thing is snagging this and then holding on to it for 6 months, at which point I'll be able to integrate the Northern Baltic states and Slovakia into the EU, making it stronger, and also reducing my control cap. Also, the Ad Astra tech is done. That means we now need to move on to orbitals. That was the plan, and I am sticking with it. And the EU is now officially completely mine. We've succeeded, ladies and gentlemen. We have joined the forces of the US and Europe. Now I just need to grow Europe as aggressively as I can without crushing my influence over here. Syria, it's been nice having you for some spoils and a bit of extra income, but now is the time to go ahead and get rid of you. And still losing 1.6 per day is kind of annoying, but I guess I can live with that for a while. What I want to do with Hungary is actually declare a rivalry here, so that we have a justification of war to go in here and forcefully add Hungary back into the EU. That would save me some points. There's the construction module tech. All right. What do we want next? Do we want to just go ahead and research the hydrobiology, find out what they are? You know, that's something we're supposed to do. Yeah, let's go ahead and just knock this out. I think it's worth it. Plus, we have a 65% boost on this sucker, so we'll be able to finish it fairly quickly, and now I can focus my attention on other things that matter. But before we forget, let's go back to Mars, go to the site where I was going to be placing down that extra power, which should be right over here, and let's place a construction module. It is going to take 180 days. That's way faster than I thought it was going to be. And then what this is going to do is make all future constructions on Mars require basically no boost and take only 30 days instead of a full year to arrive. So we're reducing the amount of time to continue boosting up our Mars operations to 1/10 of it is currently. That means I'll be able to start claiming a lot more sites and start getting a ridiculous amount of income. Now, I could continue destroying some alien fauna, which I probably should, but I also really want to take Spain. So what would it take for me to get a coup in Spain? 25% chance, can boost that up to 83, 72, 63. This is relatively cheap for me to do. And all we need to do is coup this, take away the executive branch, it'll break off all alliances, we'll declare a rival with the EU, and then we'll just have the EU declare war. We can just integrate this entire area. Of course, that does mean I need to start moving a bunch of the American armies over toward Portugal, because I am definitely calling in my buddy, the USA, in order to quickly crush the Spanish and integrate them into the Union they should have voluntarily joined in the first place. Oh, there's our coup in Spain. Okay, so we got rid of Exodus. Unfortunately, we still need to take 2 more points to make this work. I think a critical success would have gotten all 3 of them right away, but this does mean we're going to be grossly over our cap for a bit, which scares me a little, and now means I need to spend an entire phase trying to grab both of these control points before the AI can get to them. That said, I've got pretty good support, so I imagine we can do it. Then all we have to do is just have the executive, declare the rivalry, and then we can just drop it like it's hot. So, if I can last long enough without losing all my influence, this is still okay. Oh! And North and South Korea just rejoined each other into one Republic of Korea. Well, congratulations, guys. I'm glad you finally put aside your differences. A probe arrived at one of the asteroids. Ooh, wow. Ah, that's not half bad, actually. That's great. The only thing it's lacking is some fissile materials, but otherwise, this is a really, really, really good asteroid. I'll be honest, I think this is worth just grabbing right now. We're gonna go ahead and found an outpost, and we're gonna go ahead and send a mining stuff over here. Advanced heat management is done. Good, so let's go for the mission to the inner planets. We are going to Mercury! Now, we should be just about guaranteed to take Spain here, because it's 299% missions to control this node. It does take a while to do, I understand that, but that should be fine. Solar outpost kit. That is useful if you're going to be sending, like, colony ships with prefabs that just go get set up, which can be quite nice, honestly. All right, so that's a control point, and that's a control point. Excellent. So, with Spain, hi, you have... Why do you still have all these allies? Wait a minute. Well, what part of a violent coup did you guys not understand? I didn't even check. It was supposed to remove all allies. Uh-oh. Yeah, I didn't even check this. Do we always need to have a critical role in Spain, or did I just get really unlucky and it didn't abandon all the alliances? Okay, so there's a second coup in Spain. Not a good roll here. And nope, it's still got all of its allies. What the heck? Okay, well, do we just... I think what we can do with coups is you reset the cooldown on any relation changes, because I moved these guys down to normal just in case this wouldn't work and they would have less allies to defend them. Do we say, screw it, let's just attack them anyway, because we have the US on our side? We could win that. Okay, well, as long as we're not fighting another major player nation, and we are not fighting somebody with nukes, this still should be completely fine, and we have a lot of American troops just rearing and ready to go. Our first Martian base has been founded as we take our first steps on our new world. Armstrong and Gagarin and all the rest are walking with us. Get some science and a lot of influence. Beautiful. All right, our outpost core has arrived. It's going to be a little while still before we are going to have our mines up and running, but it should be relatively soon. And by soon, I mean like 1 month. 1 month, and our income is going to skyrocket. So, for you, Ezekiel, why don't you go set some national policy in the EU? Takes 10 influence, but we can use that to declare a war. And then you, I don't really care what you do. We could sabotage projects. Nah, just go assault some alien assets. And Mika, 93% chance that we can continue stealing some of these really, really good organizations away from these folks. I've got a hypothesis over here as to why maybe not all the desired relations have broken off. I wonder if the game is looking at the allies of my other nations, like the US, or maybe the European Union, and saying, surely you don't want a coup to break alliances that are beneficial to you, and it's retaining them. Maybe. I don't know if that's the case. It could very well be that what I now need to be doing is going through here and finding nations that I no longer want to be allied with. That could be. Like Turkey, for example. Is Turkey an ally of the US? Yes, it is. So, like, I could see that being a thing. I would say it's because of, like, the European Union having allies, but I don't know. What about Turkey? So Turkey is the real kicker here, because it seems like if my theory was correct, they would have been booted, because neither the EU, nor the US, nor any other nation that I control is allied to Turkey, so that should have removed them. Well, the new question... Oh, what's this? We had a breakthrough on some research stations? Okay, let's see. Combined with Solitude Privacy, they managed to push some boundaries. Flout our scientific prowess, get 1,600 science? Wow. Also, we get a lot of extra knowledge investment, and everyone likes us. Okay. Or spaceflight blue submission control, or Earth mining, or ships. I mean, I feel like flaunting this is good. Public opinion boosts are nice, and I also like investment toward knowledge. So let's flaunt. All right, so we're able to declare war with the European Union. We would ask the United States to join us in the war. Okay, this is what I wanted to make sure was still going to happen, because as long as the US isn't allied to any of Spain's allies, they can join. If the EU was fighting this on their own, I think they would lose. So yes, we're going to ask the US to join. I'm glad it gives you a pop-up that says that that's happening. So now we're at war. all of you guys, the entire group, go to Madrid. This should be quick. Now, who else is involved in this war? Turkey? Controlled by the servants? I don't really care about them. I don't know what happens, by the way. If we march in here and take Madrid, does the war immediately end? Or am I also going to have to go fight Turkey? If I have to go fight Turkey, I guess that's okay. Hey, look! HAB modules, mining outposts on Mars! This means I'm about to start getting a lot more materials. Look at that, that's beautiful. All right, now I'm going to get rich. All right, the armies have arrived, and just like with the megafauna, you can see their health is going down. But we failed a hostile takeover. Dang it, really? Okay. They're trying to do another purge over here, which makes sense, but I'm pretty sure we're going to occupy this before it's too late. Let's start boosting our opinion here in the European Union. Someone's been trying to knock us off here, and I don't really like that. So all we have to do is just get our occupation up here, and that should be the end of Spain. The aliens are setting up in the asteroid belt, by the way. That's a little bit scary. They're all over the place in the asteroid belt. Good lord, the aliens are really going nuts. Going a little bit nutsies. All right, about to finish the occupation. Yes, yes, yes. Someone took a point, and there goes Barcelona. Dunsey, Dunsey, Dunsey. Okay, so we got all those regions. Spain has been conquered. And we are still at war with Turkey. Okay. I mean, I guess we could go deploy over here and just try to knock the servants out. We can't conquer it, I don't think. I don't think this is a claim by the European Union. Maybe it is. What will probably end up happening is a regime change, and we simply weaken the servants by a lot. The important thing is, now we've snagged all of the Spanish territory over here, including a very important economic region. You can see the stats for the European Union have gone up, and yeah, I'm now a little over my cap, but not by much. This was way more cost-effective than owning Spain directly. That's what we want to see. Alright, in the meantime, I think this must be a good place for me to end this video. So now they're making a lot of income in space. That's going to open up a lot of options. We're probably going to set up tons and tons of satellites around Earth, especially since I'm about to get some orbital technology up and a-running. We'll have to deal with Turkey or maybe just peace out with them. I mean, I really don't see any reason to stay at war with them. I don't care about them, but that's a thing. And I need to figure out what the heck is going on with this whole ally situation. It might honestly be worth going to a lot of my nations and just saying, hey, like, your relations and stuff, if they're not me, especially if they're the servants, set them all to, like, neutral. And just, like, get rid of these guys. We don't want to be allies with them. Anyway, we'll figure out what to do with the rest of that in a bit. Thank y'all for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.